Good morning from windy Kansas. I have something I want to talk about. It's on my mind since the Las Vegas issue and the resulting call for government to do something. Progressives are always talking about compromise, but has any compromise ever resulted in greater liberty or a move towards the Constitution? I hear a lot about compromise from progressives, except it's not really compromise. Let's say we have a cake. It's a really nice cake, and it has gun rights and a beautiful icing written across the top of the cake. And you come along and say, "Give me your cake." I say, "No, it's my cake." So you say, "Well, let's compromise," and you give me half. And I say, "Well, what do I get out of this compromise?" And you say, "Well, you get to keep half of your cake." So we compromise. Let's call this compromise the National Firearms Act of 1934. So now here I am with half of my cake, and you walk back up and say, "Give me that cake." And I say, "No, it's my cake." You say, "Well, let's compromise." Well, what do I get out of this compromise? Why, I get to keep what's left of the cake I already own. So we have your compromise, and let's say this is the Gun Control Act of 1968, so now I'm left holding just a quarter of my original cake. I'm sitting in the corner with my quarter piece of cake, and here you come again, and you say, "Give me that cake." This time you take several bites. We'll call this compromise the Clinton executive orders, and I'm left with about a tenth of what's always been my cake, and you've got 9/10 of it. And then we compromise with the Lautenberg Act and the HUD-Smith-Wesson Agreement, and the Brady Law, and the School Safety and Law Enforcement Improvement Act, yada, yada, yada. And I'm left holding crumbs of what was once a very large and beautiful cake. And you're standing there with most of my cake, making eyes and whining about being reasonable and wondering why we don't just compromise. Well, I'm done with being reasonable, and I'm done with compromise. Nothing about gun control in this country has ever been reasonable or genuine compromise. This is Michael Murphy, the voice of reason. Try to have a good day.